somehow I never had a voice, right? At 8 years old, right? A traumatic event occurred, and after witnessing what I witnessed, I immediately shut down, right? My development as a kid, you know, because when I was in my mother's womb, she used the drugs and stuff. My development as a kid, for me to speak, was longer than an ordinary kid, right? I couldn't speak until the age of like 4 or 5 years old. I couldn't speak. But people didn't know that. I was just quiet. So as I grew up, I knew I never had a voice, because when I started talking, the only word I knew was cuz this, homie this, fuck that, this, that. It was never no content. It was never no communication behind the words, right? And then I go to prison as a teenager. It's a culture inside of prison. So I can't be myself there. I gotta shut down and suppress me again, right? All this is for survival. And most people is doing that for survival. You see that amongst relationships all the time. It's the same. Ain't nothing different. It's the same thing. You compromise yourself, right? You compromise yourself when you be silent. When you know there's something need to be said, you know that something is not right, and you be silent. That's what's wrong with the world. So when I told myself, when I find my voice, ain't nobody gonna shut me up. So that's why I show up with energy like I show up in any proximity, right? Because I found my voice. And I have something to say. I have content behind it now. That's what I told them. So it's very important that you don't silence yourself. You know, especially women. You really do not want to silence yourself. Because a man too, but I see a lot of women, they will do that. You know, in relationships, they will be quiet, see things occurring, and they won't say anything. You know, they will see things occurring with their kids, things happening. You know, they won't say anything. I hear stories like that. You know, how parents didn't believe, the mother didn't believe this was happening to the daughter. You know, the mother didn't believe this was happening to the son, right? And she been quiet. And then these persons, these individuals, these loving, caring people grow up, and they suppress them for survival. They become silent, you know, and God forbid they told inside their home to not say anything outside this house. God forbid that is occurring, right? So I was just telling them, don't be silent, show up, scream, right? It was a professor when I was in prison. This professor came in, and through this nonprofit they was teaching that, and I remember him telling me about law. He said in law, it's two things you do, right? It's two things you do when you capture. You either scream or you holler. It's two different things. When you screaming, you when you hollering, you beyond measure with your words. You non-compromising with your words. Because words is life. And how you serve them is how ones receive them. But it's most important that you know the type of words that you telling yourself, because what you tell yourself is what's going to come out. That's why we get a lack of communication. Violence. Violence is the root cause of the violence is the accessory that people use these days. Violence. That's the way people communicate. So, but that's how they communicating with themselves in the inside. What you see a person exhibited out in this world is what's going on in them. So it's better that you be yourself, accept you, and you'll learn to accept others. Then when you celebrate you will learn how to celebrate others. And that was the premise. Until you become in tune with you, till you trust you, love you, inwardly, outwardly, it's not going to work out. And you can only fake so long. It's going to come out. It's got to come out. It's got to come out. So, you can only do it so long. Take care of you, and then, others. And be careful about who you just give it to. Because it's better to teach a person how to fish than to just give them the fish. What about when they hungry again? So this is where mentorship come in at. This is where friendship come in at. Communication come in at. Hey, listen, I know a little bit more. You know some. Let's put it together. Let's see what we can do. Right? So I say that to say, grab someone. Grab a younger youth. Grab a young boy or girl. Mentor them. Sponsor them. Talk to them. Say hi to them. Make it your duty to get to know them. Now, you may have something special to give the world. Your kids may not want it. The people in your household may not want that. That may be for you to just provide for them or whatever. Whatever Yahweh made it for you, that may be, for you on that. However, look, get someone outside of your home. It takes a hood to save a hood. It takes a hood to save a hood. That's our lingo from the United Players. That's what we say. We really mean that. Right? So, reach out there. Quit being judgmental towards yourself. And you're going to quit being judgmental towards others. Because what you don't like in you is the same thing you don't like in another person. Watch. What you like in another person, ask yourself, why do you like that person? And I bet it's some familiarity y'all got in common with one another. You ask yourself why you don't like that person. I bet it's something about that person reminds you of something or someone or somebody or something that happened which occurred to you. So it made you feel a certain way. So every time you see this person or people, you feel them same emotions that you felt when the incident or whatever occurred. Just don't take a rocket science to figure this one out. It don't take a rocket science to figure out why we have all these violence. We can't even get a simple high without thinking there's an intention or a hidden agenda. I've been out of prison for almost 2.5 years now. Not even 2.5 years. Just got out June, 2020. Yeah, so listen. I say hi. For example, let me give you an example. To be clear. I was in a store. I was in a store and I spoke to some sisters. How y'all doing, sis? Well, the sister looked at me like, nigga, what the fuck are you what are you speaking to me for? Like, nigga, And that really did something to me, and I knew I couldn't walk away without it becoming a moment of greatness. I had to explain myself to the sister why I spoke to her and why I speak to brothers and sisters when I speak to people. I said, listen, sis, I meant no disrespect, but I did 23 years in prison, and there was a time that, I wouldn't have never got out because I was serving life. And I miss seeing sisters. I miss seeing little kids. I miss seeing grass. I miss seeing butterflies. I miss seeing different colors. I miss seeing that. So when I see that, And I know I miss seeing that. When I see that, I never want to miss that again. So I'm out here doing the right thing so I never have to put myself back in them situations. So when I see you and, you know, him and her, and, you know, I speak. Because I wondered, how was the world without me in it? I wondered, how was the world without me in it? Did I leave anything? Do anybody remember me for anything? And I said, I made a promise to myself that I would never do that no more. Whenever I'm out the proximity of humankind, I want to make sure that I'm remembered by greatness, goodness, kindness. And when I told her that, it shifted the whole momentum. And then I had to walk away. But this is what I'm talking about. You got to be careful about, you know, not being kind to people. Because you never know who that person is. That person could have saved your life, whatever condition you was in. That person probably was the person could have took you out of that. On some human kindness. Because there are ill people out here like this. But, you know, hey, it's like eye trauma. You remember that movie, I, Robot? Now it's like eye trauma. Everybody in the world is walking around with trauma and don't nobody want to heal. They suppress it. We traumatized from the coronavirus. Traumatized from whatever they were saying about Donald Trump. Traumatized about war. We traumatized. Traumatized by mass shootings. We traumatized, people. But we walking around like it's just all okay. And I come out and I'm looking at this like, is we for real? And that's what give me an opportunity to show up. When I see a person, I'm showing kindness. I can't save the world, but I can say hi. And if I say how you doing, I really mean how you doing. And we can stop right there and have a conversation. I don't drink. I blow loose leaves though. And it got to be bomb. And we can holler all night. That's the type of work we need out here in the community.